Chapter 86 to 91. Mia, I'm hungry. I should probably return to Granny's house. I need to get the recipes for her food before I return to my Earth though. While sitting on the moon and enjoying the view, I stand up and leap toward Earth at incredible speeds. After entering its atmosphere, my body catches fire, but it's too weak to harm me. Once I was nearing Granny's home, I sensed 3 different key signatures than before, and one of them was the strongest beings on this planet that I've sensed. When I'm only a few meters above the ground, I suddenly stop, forcing the momentum I built up to disperse through the air, causing a loud boom to go off. Landing on the ground, I walk to the cabin, and when I'm about to knock on the door, 3 people charge out of the cabin, encircling me. Seeing this, I was about to attack them, but I stopped myself from acting when Granny came out to defend me. Green Arrow dash, ma'am, you should get out the way, she could be dangerous. Granny dash, I don't need someone the same age as my son telling me what I can and can't do. I'm a grown woman, I'll do what I want. Besides, you so-called heroes should be feeling ashamed to even be pointing your weapons at a little girl. Batman dash, she clearly isn't human and she is possibly dangerous. Either you move and allow us to apprehend her, or we'll arrest you for colluding with an alien of unknown origins. Shazam dash, isn't that a bit rough, Batman? Batman dash, you may not be able to tell how dangerous she is, but my scanners have picked up that the amount of energy she is releasing is more than enough to destroy a planet. Besides, she is the one who tried to kill the young Justice. She is too dangerous to be left alone. When the dude in all black finished talking, the dude wearing a red bodysuit and white cape no longer seemed to hesitate, because right when he finished talking, they all simultaneously attacked me. One of them shot several arrows at me, another threw bombs and tiny metal things, and the last one flew straight at me, but the problem with that was Granny is still standing right in front of me. Mia, pathetic to attack a weak old lady. Whatever, it's not like I expected much from humans, to begin with. Since I was still hungry, I wanted to finish this fight quickly, and so I did. Flashing in front of the flying dude, I uppercut him so hard he flew out of orbit. Getting rid of the other 2, I grabbed all the objects they threw at me and destroyed them with my ki. Flashing in front of them, they tried to back away when they saw how close I was to them, but before they could, I raised both my hands and shot a ki blast at them, hitting them in their chest and flinging them in the distance. Once everything is taken care of, I walked back over to Granny, who didn't even know what happened to them, and grabbed her hand, leading her into the house. Granny dash, what happened to them? Mia dash, I got rid of them. I was hungry and they were in the way. I haven't eaten any food in over a day, so make sure to cook a lot, Granny. Granny dash, you're going to bankrupt me from eating too much. When we arrived inside the cabin, I sat at the table waiting for the food, as Granny went into the kitchen to do what she did best. Mia, now that I think about it, why don't I just stay with Granny till father or mother finds me? All I have to do is wait and eat delicious food, and someone will eventually come and find me. Yes, let's do that. Underscore. Shazam, damn, that little girl packs a punch. I think she might have dislocated my jaw. Opening my eyes after being knocked unconscious from a single attack, and from a little girl at that, the first thing I see is Earth, floating in the void of space. Pushing my body out of the hole it created when I crashed here, I finally get free and notice I'm on the moon. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a blinking light on my arm. Bring it up to eye level, I press my wrist and a floating screen appears, and on it is Batman and Green Arrow. When they saw me, they started talking, but as I'm in space I couldn't hear what they were saying. After quickly flying to Earth, I could finally hear what they were talking about. Batman dash, Shazam, return to the base quickly, we will talk in more detail there. Right after that, Batman's face disappeared, along with Green Arrow's as well. Sighing at missing the entire conversation, I fly back to a sub-base and teleport to the base. Once there, I make my way to the meeting room, and when I arrive, most of the Justice League members are there already sitting in their seats. Walking to my seat, I sit down, and when I do, Batman starts the meeting. Wonder Woman dash, now that everyone's here, care to explain why you called an emergency meeting? Flash dash, yeah man, I was in the middle of a date, so it better be important. When Batman heard Flash, he just looked at him for a second before ignoring him and started talking. Batman dash, since most of you guys were busy, I'm sure you guys didn't know that the Young Justice members received severe injuries on their last mission. Once he finished talking, everyone seemed shocked by his statement, and only asked questions after they had calmed down. Superman dash, what happened to them, are they okay? Batman dash, most of them will be fine, some of them won't be so lucky. Aquaman dash, wasn't the mission you assigned them was to check a meteor crash site that was emitting unnatural levels of energy? They have taken far more dangerous missions than that, so what happened? Batman dash, that's the reason why I called this meeting. By the time Shazam managed to make it to their location as reinforcements, they were already defeated. After that, Green Arrow, Shazam, and I went to the location of the battle and encountered an alien. I'm sure you guys can guess how the battle went with Green Arrow's disappearance and my injuries. But it'll be better if I show the footage. When he finished talking, he pressed a button on the giant table, the lights went dark and a floating screen appeared in the middle of the table, and it played the events from Batman's perspective. Once the footage finished, it went quiet for a second before someone commented on the energy readings. Martian Manhunter - excuse me if I'm wrong, but are you sure your energy reading device wasn't malfunctioning during the battle? Batman - do you believe something I created would malfunction? Green Lantern - no. Ha, so you telling me there is currently a little alien girl residing on Earth, she managed to easily defeat you three, and she has enough energy to destroy the Earth. And I thought I could finally take a break. Plastic Man - so what should we do with her now? We can't really have a conversation with her since we attacked her twice, and let's not forget her strength, which seems ridiculous. Superman - we don't even know if she is bad or not, both times she has only defended herself, plus she is still a little girl. Red Tornado - a little girl who's just defending herself wouldn't have nearly killed the young Justice. Flash - he's right Soups, but Batman, why didn't the girl wind up injuring you guys like what she did to the young Justice? Wonder Woman - she wasn't interested. Everyone stopped talking amongst themselves when Wonder Woman voiced her thoughts and looked at her with slight confusion, which prompted her to explain her reasoning in more detail. Wonder Woman - that little girl is not just some random girl, she is a warrior, someone who fights for enjoyment, and as a warrior myself I can tell from the look in her eyes that she had no interest in fighting you guys. Aquaman - if that little girl is supposedly someone who enjoys fighting, then why didn't she fight with them longer? Wonder Woman - well, I wasn't there and I can't read minds, but if I had to guess the information given to me, she most likely found you three too weak for her to fight with. When she said that, almost everyone present didn't want to believe what she said, but from the video we just watched, everyone concluded it was likely to be true, and that scared most of us because that meant she was still holding back when I fought with her, if it could even be called battle with how fast I was defeated. Batman - this is helpful information, but it still comes full circle to the first question. What do we do with her? ___________. Miaha, I'm bored. It's been a few days since those three weird guys appeared, and nothing interesting has happened since then. Should I go and explore this Earth? Maybe, I have nothing better to do right now anyways, besides I could keep notes of the difference and similarities of this Earth and my Earth, I'm sure Mother would love it. After having an inner debate with myself for a few minutes, I decided to go out and explore this Earth. Standing up from my laying position, I walked around the house and grabbed a pen and some notebooks. Before leaving, of course, I informed Granny. Mia - Granny, I'm going outside to explore, so don't cook any food for me till I get back, okay? Granny - ha, okay, just be careful and watch out for bad people, and those heroes, and if possible try not to destroy a city please. Mia - yeah, whatever. Walking out of the cabin, I fly in the sky and start heading in a direction of where I sense huge groups of Ki. While flying I started wondering why neither of my parents haven't found me yet. Mia, I'm probably just very far away. Yeah, that's it. Mother said that the universe is always expanding, so it'll just take some time for them to come and find me. Coming to my own conclusion, I try comforting myself about why they haven't found me yet. About 1 minute later I could see a huge city in the distance. When I got close there were tens of giant buildings towering above the city, one of them even had a statue of a planet on the top of one, and it read the words, Daily Planet. Writing the information down in the notebook, I float downwards and land on the ground, and when I did I noticed all the humans looking at me with fear on their faces, while they all kept their distance from me, some of them even ran away at the sight of me. Mia, these humans are much more pathetic than the ones from my Earth. The ones from my Earth would just glance at me before continuing with their lives. Ignoring the humans, I continued walking around the city and noticed several different things that I wrote in my notebook. One of them was that the technology seemed to be far behind than the Earth. This Earth didn't even have flying cars yet. Shaking my head at how disappointing this Earth was, I dejectedly walked around hoping to find something unique to this Earth, but while walking I noticed that the number of humans around me was thinning out, and quite quickly too. I didn't care about what happened to the humans, so I just continued on while minding my own business, but after turning the corner, I saw a lot of humans standing in line with guns pointed in my direction and a lot of police cars behind them. Mia, something crazy must have happened for this many police to come together. While I was slightly curious about why there were so many police, I didn't care enough to wait and find out, so I looked away and continued walking, but when I did I heard one of the cops start speaking through a megaphone, and it seemed directed at me. Cop dash, don't move pink metahuman, we have you surrounded, either let us arrest you or you will be fired upon. When I heard him I stopped moving and looked around to find another person covered in the color pink, but when I didn't find anybody, that's when I knew the cop was speaking to me. Mia, what is wrong with this Earth's humans? This place is completely terrible, I can't even walk around a city without having people trying to kill me. Maybe I should destroy the city, but if I do Granny might stop making food for me. What should I do? I must have been thinking for too long because I felt a bullet hit my head and then all over my body. It continued for a few seconds before the rain of bullets stopped, but even though it stopped, I was angry. How dare these stupid humans attack me while I'm thinking. This is why I dislike humans, to attack someone who is not ready. Where is their pride as a warrior? I was angry at these foolish humans. No, I was infuriated at these humans. Every single time they have attacked me first, even while I was minding my own business. First, the green human attacked me, then those 3 guys men attacked me, and now this group of humans attacked me again. I haven't killed a single human even after they all tried to kill me, but this time they've pushed me past my limit. These stupid humans will finally understand what it means to anger a Saiyan. Laughing, I raised my hand to the group of cops and when I did, I sensed the person who has been watching me ever since I first arrived in this city fly quickly to the group of humans, but they were still too late. Releasing a key sphere, I watch as it flies right at the humans, and when it comes in contact with one of them a huge explosion erupts, devouring everything with its 10-meter range explosion. Mia dash, ha 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 ha. Once all the smoke clears, I can finally witness the damage, and I must say the carnage I caused was great. Just looking at all the broken vehicles and pieces of limbs everywhere felt exhilarating. I contemplated shooting off more key spheres, to cause even more carnage, but before I could, I sensed someone closing in on me fast and the key was coming from the direction of the explosion. Tilting my head to the side, I look to the left and lock eyes with a man wearing a blue suit and a red cape, along with an S on his chest, but his clothes are somewhat damaged, probably from the explosion. Reaching out, I grab his face and slam him to the ground, destroying the road. Letting go, I watch as he gathers ki in his eyes before releasing 2 ki beams right at me, which I easily blocked with one hand. Mia dash, tch, another stupid human who wants to die, why can't you just leave me alone and kill yourself? Flashing to the side of the man, I roundhouse kick him in the stomach, which sends him crashing through several buildings in the distance, hopeful killing some humans in the process. I didn't feel like fighting another weakling, so I was about to fly away, but then I suddenly sensed another person heading towards me at quite the speed. I decided to not leave as I was quite interested. Right when I finished thinking the person arrived, and along with him was a trail of red and yellow lightning, but when I saw him I was instantly disappointed because I could sense that while he has access to an insane amount of ki, he didn't know how to use it properly, and worst of all, it wasn't even his to begin with. Watching him run right at me, he started running in circles around me while throwing out punches right after another. While they were quite fast, that was about it, so even if I was to get hit I wouldn't feel anything, but then again he never managed to touch me, to begin with. I quickly got bored of him as in my eyes he was just a one-trick pony, so I flashed right beside him and grabbed a hold of his foot with my tail, which resulted in him completely stopping. Lifting him up by my tail, I looked him in the eyes, and while he seemed quite surprised he calmed down quickly before trying to start up a conversation. Flash dash, so, how's your day been? Mine has been fine so far, you know the usual, arresting criminals and whatnot. Mia dash, tsk, my day was fine until you stupid humans tried attacking me for the 3rd time. So don't expect me to spare you lives like I did the last 2 times. Flash dash, well then don't expect us to be so easy to kill. I don't know the details, but I heard Batman, the one in black who you met a few days ago, has come up with a way to defeat you. When he said that, I'm sure he was trying to scare me, but instead of being scared I was curious more than anything. To think a weak human could harm me is ridiculous, but to say a human could defeat me is utterly absurd. Mia dash, ho, that's quite the claim, but you have piqued my interest, so I'll let you live until that Batman arrives. I'm quite curious to know how a weak human will be able to defeat a Saiyan. Throwing him away in the distance, I saw as he got up and looked at me surprised. Flash dash, so you're actually just going to wait until Batman arrives? Mia dash, since I said so then I will wait, but it better not take too long, and while you're at it might as well call all your friends as well. Don't forget that I'm still going to kill you guys later. When I finished talking to him, the man in blue came flying back, but before he could attack me the dude in the red suit intercepted him and stopped him, although he seemed really reluctant. Ignoring them, I sat down and started meditating, not even bothering to inspect the new guests that arrived, as the amount of ki they had was too weak for me to even take this as a warm-up battle. Some of the guests did try to approach me, but I had a key barrier set up which stopped anyone from getting within 4 meters of range, and this continued on for 2 hours. By then a good amount of people had arrived, but I was getting impatient. Opening my eyes, I stood up, and when I did, everyone who was wearing some stupid costume in the distance got into a fighting position. Seeing this, I smirked before telling them their time limit. TSK, you guys only have 15 minutes left, and if that Batman guy hasn't arrived then I'll kill you all. Just like that, time continued to pass by, and it wasn't till there were only 3 minutes left that the Batman guy finally arrived on some kind of plane. Once he arrived, I didn't take my eyes off him as I was curious about what he came up with that gave them the idea that they defeat me in battle. While watching him mess around on his wrist, I saw the plane he came in land before slowly changing shape and morphing into what looked like a satellite dish. Then the satellite dish shifted till it was pointing at me, and when it did I expected it to shoot an attack at me, but nothing happened. I waited for another minute, but when nothing continued to happen, I ignored it before focusing back on the group of people who have been waiting. Welp, I wasn't expecting much, but your satellite can't do anything. Disappointing. Now let me send you guys off with a bang. After saying that, I raised my hand and charged up a key blast. When I did, I noticed everyone but that Batman fellow tense up, but I didn't think much about it. Firing off my key, I expected it to hit them, killing them in the process, but instead, my attack curved to the left and hit the satellite before getting absorbed by it. When I saw that, I was quite surprised, but I still didn't think much about it. If it's absorbing my ki, it must have a limit, and I don't believe for 1 minute that it could even hold 10% of my ki, so I continued launching ki blast after ki blast, and each one getting progressively stronger than the last one. This repeated itself for at least 2 minutes, and by then I've started using about 8% of my power, and yet nothing happened. Seeing as it's still in perfect condition, I gave up on it because while it might prevent me from using ki-based attacks, I still have a body to rely on, so nothing has changed. I'm impressed. You've managed to figure out a way to effectively make using my ki useless, but it still doesn't change anything. You guys are still going to die. Batman thank you for allowing my machine to fully power up. Without you it would have been extremely difficult to find something that generates enough power on the level of a yellow star. After he said that, he pushed a few buttons on his arm, and the next thing I knew I was hearing a buzzing noise, and then all of a sudden I instantly lost my connection to any ki that wasn't inside my body. What the hell just happened? Losing my connection ki caused me to slightly panic for a second before I managed to calm down, but my ability to sense ki and the ki barrier that I kept around my body vanish put me on alert. I was going to test something, but before I could, I saw something flash by out of the corner, and by instinct, I barely managed to put my arms up to block the attack. When the punch connected with my arms, I actually felt pain. The amount of pain wasn't a lot, and I've felt more pain when training with father, but still for me to feel pain from a human was like having my pride trampled upon. Looking at the person who attacked me, I realized it was the man who I fought earlier, which pissed me off because I know how weak he is compared to me. I wanted to retaliate, but I wasn't given enough time when a wannabe Piccolo appeared out of nowhere right next to me and landed a punch on my stomach, flinging me a few meters away before I managed to land back on my feet. Looking up, I notice everyone who has come to fight me standing in a fighting position, and seeing this many people who I'll fight to the death with caused my blood to boil in excitement but also anger. You pathetic humans better entertain me, or I'll destroy the planet. No, let me change that. After I kill you guys I'll destroy the planet anyways. Superman then that just means we have to defeat you. Batman you've lost, surrender. Aquaman the might of the sea is unstoppable. Flash let's take her out in a flash. Green Lantern no evil shall escape my sight. Laughing at their nonsense, I ignored their speech and started running straight at them, each step of mine increasing my speed. When I finally made it halfway, the only person who I would consider a warrior stepped forward and pointed her sword at me before yelling something that caused everyone to charge straight at me. Wonder Woman Justice League, advance. Watching all of them rush at me, I increased my speed even more, and a second later we collided with each other, causing even more destruction in the surrounding area and buildings. That was a hard battle, but enjoyable. Gasping for air, I stand up from my kneeling position and slowly walk forward past all the dead bodies from the earlier battle. Pieces of bodies were everywhere which painted the ground in blood. Continuing my walk, I look around and notice all of the destruction and carnage we caused during our fight, buildings destroyed and laying on the ground, craters all over the place, and even satellites from space laying here and there. I'm pretty sure the city is completely destroyed. While walking, I hear some rubble moving and I spot someone from the battle trying to escape, but he doesn't have any legs so he can only crawl. Smiling, I walk in his direction, and when I do he turns around and starts shaking in fear slightly. By the time I've arrived next to him he's no longer shaking in fear and looks like he's accepted his fate. Seeing this I reach down and grab his face and start exerting force until his head gets crushed like a grape, but before he died I heard him say something to me. Zon dash, karma will one day come for you dash. Mia dash, then, I'll destroy it. Throwing his corpse to the side, I make my way to the key-absorbing machine that somehow is still intact, and when I'm next to it I destroy it with my body. Once it's destroyed I finally felt my connection to my ki again, and I finally understood how weak I truly was without ki, so weak that those humans even managed to put up a good fight, even if they still lost in the end. Now that I can use my ki again, I start writing runes in midair, and when I finish the runes, they flew and sunk into my body. A second later a small hole opened on my stomach. Reaching my hand inside, I grabbed a small pouch and opening it up, I grabbed one of the emergency senzu beans mother gave me and ate it. Throwing the pouch back inside my stomach, I feel my body fully heal from the injuries I sustained during the battle. Mia dash, yeah, this is more like it, finally back at full strength, now I need to finish killing everyone. Using my ki sense, search for any signs of life and notice a couple of them bunched together in the distance. When I flashed right next to them, the only people left alive were the blue man with a red cape, the Batman guy, some dude whose entire body is silver, and the women who loved using the lasso. Once they saw me suddenly appear, the closest one, which is the sliver dude, tried to attack me, but I stabbed my hand right through his chest, ripping out his heart. Throwing it away I walk forward to the other three, and when I arrived right in front of them I heard the noise of that man's body hitting the ground. Mia dash, since you guys gave me an entertaining fight I will let you choose how you want to die. When I said that, all three of them looked at each other before the man with the cape and the women charged at me while the Batman guy threw a smoke bomb down and tried running away. Mia dash, tch, no fun. Pointing my finger at Batman, I fired a ki beam which pierced through his head, killing him immediately. Flashing behind the caped man, I created a ki blade with my hand and sliced him in half before decapitating him. Even after doing all that, the woman didn't realize she was the last one alive until the man's body dropped to the ground. Flashing right in front of her I watches her face, which showed fear, harden and gave off the feeling of a warrior's last stand in battle. Wonder Woman dash, in the name of the gods I shall take you down, or dash. Even if she is a fellow warrior she was too weak for me to have any respect for, but right when I killed her I sensed an attack coming from above. Looking up I saw a bolt of lightning aiming for me. Shooting a ki blast, I destroyed the attack, but right after another one came, then another, and soon there were thousands of lightning bolts trying to hit me. They were the most powerful attacks I have received since I've been here, but they were only about a quarter of my strength. After receiving so many attacks, I got angry and launched a massive ki blast toward the sky, and when it exploded the dark clouds that once covered the sky immediately disappeared, and when it did I could finally see who my attacker was. Mia dash, so you're the bastard who kept sneak attacking me, you humans have no pride whatsoever. The person who was attacking me was an old man with a long beard and also some long hair which were both white. His physique looked great, almost comparable to father's, and the amount of power I sensed from him was extremely high for the humans of this earth. I was excited that I've finally found someone who had a decent amount of strength compared to me, and when I was just about to charge right at him to start another battle, I suddenly felt myself get sucked through another portal, and the next thing I saw was father standing right in front of me. Mia dash, father. Nala, so they've returned after several months of looking for the Black Star Dragon Balls. Finally. If they took any longer I was worried that the planet would explode. Getting up from my seat, I make my way out of the lab and use the teleporter I created with my runes to quickly travel to the lookout. When I arrived I noticed Bulma was here along with the spaceship that the group used to retrieve the Dragon Balls. As I slither my way to Bulma, the hatch on the spaceship opens up and walking out of it are Goku, Gohan, and his little girlfriend Videl. Bulma dash, it's good to see you Nala, you haven't visited in a while so I was worried about you, how are you feeling? When I get close, Bulma must have heard me as she turns around and asks me questions with evident concern in her voice, showing a fake smile. I try not to think about what happened several months ago. Nala dash, it's good to see you to Bulma, and I'm feeling better than usual, at least now I don't have to worry about Earth blowing up now, right? Bulma dash, I guess that's true, but you know that's not what I'm talking about, Nala. Nala dash, we can talk about that stuff later, right now I want to make sure nothing happens to the Black Star Dragon Balls. Ignoring her question, I slither past Bulma and make my way to the group who is currently talking with Cammy, and right when I arrive Gohan opens the bag he was carrying and takes the Dragon Balls out one by one, setting them inside a box that Mr. Popo is holding. Gohan dash, that's all 7 of them. Cammy dash, thank goodness, now the planet is safe. Ah Nala, you've arrived. If you could do the honors please, I can't have anyone else trying to use these cursed Dragon Balls. Right after Sage used the Dragon Balls, Cammy told me about the consequences of using them and asked that once we've managed to return them all if I could use my runes to seal them away. Nodding at Cammy, I slither forward and start writing hundreds of runes. Right before I could complete the seal, the Dragon Balls glowed brightly as they floated in mid-air before suddenly shooting in the distance. As we were startled, none of us managed to react quickly enough to stop the Dragon Balls. Nala dash, was that supposed to happen, Cammy? Cammy dash, no, that wasn't. Nala dash, hey Bulma, do you have the dragon radar on you? Bulma dash, huh, yeah I do, did something happen? Nala dash, the black star Dragon Balls flew away, so I will probably need to borrow the radar. Bulma dash, here, you can keep it, I can just make another if I need to. Catching the radar that Bulma threw at me, I turn it on, and when I do 14 different dots appear on the screen, but 7 of them are all clumped together. Nala, the 7 altogether must be the black star Dragon Balls. Wait, why did one of the dots disappear? Another one just disappeared as well, what's happening? Staring intensely at the dragon radar to make sure I'm not seeing things, I watch as the dots disappear one by one, before eventually the only dots left belong to the black star Dragon Balls. I was about to question Cammy about the disappearance of the Dragon Balls, but before I could, we suddenly sensed an intense amount of evil ki that was coming from the direction of where the black star Dragon Balls went. Nala dash, I doubt this is something good. Gohan dash, damn it, another enemy, and this one is quite powerful. Cammy dash, this, what did the cursed Dragon Balls do? Goku dash, you guys stay here, I'll go and investigate. After sensing the evil ki, everyone prepared for the worst while Goku went to confront the person releasing the evil ki, and I followed right behind him. While I was following behind Goku, he slowed down till we were flying side by side, before asking me why I was following him. Goku dash, Nala, you should stay back, the enemy is going to be powerful. Nala dash, I may not be a fighter Goku, but that doesn't mean I can't help in fights, besides I can protect myself and I'm just going to stay in the distance. Goku dash, okay, just be careful. We continued flying, and halfway through the flight we met up with Vegeta, who was flying in the same direction. Another couple of minutes of flying later and we reached the area of where we sensed the evil ki. Landing in the center of what looks like what used to be a village, we spot the perpetrator who was releasing all the evil ki, and the person is a giant purple naked mole rat. Nala dash, is that a naked mole rat? Goku dash, I'm not that good with animals, so I don't know. Vegeta dash, does it matter what it is, all we need to do is kill it. As we weren't talking quietly, the mole rat, which was originally laying down on a broken house, got up and made his way over to us. Once he was close to us, he opened his mouth and fired a ki blast right at us. It wasn't that powerful, as Vegeta managed to easily deflect it, and when he did, the mole rat looked surprised, or I at least think he did. Naturon Shinron dash, you guys must be quite powerful to be able to stop my attack, so allow me to eat you. Right, when he said that, he jumped right at us with a speed you wouldn't expect from something so large. I managed to get out of the way and I continued flying away to keep a distance as I watched the battle between the three unfold. The battle started out like a normal fight at first, but as everyone started using more power and different moves, it became obvious to me that the mole rat doesn't control his ki when he fights, which means during the battle she is causing a lot of damage to the surrounding area. Nalaha, I guess it's good that I came. I start writing runes, and after about a minute later I finish it and slap the completed runes on the ground. When I did, a dome appeared and covered the entire area before disappearing, but now all the destruction caused from the battle is being contained within the dome, and just in time, as it seems Goku and Vegeta transformed into Super Saiyans. Vegeta's POV. Dodging a claw strike from Naturon, I backflip away from him to gain distance, and land right next to Kakarot. Vegeta dash, TSK, this stupid animal might actually be decently powerful. Goku dash, yeah, while fighting him I could tell our attacks didn't do much damage to him, we're going to have to get slightly serious. When Kakarot finished talking, we both transformed into SSJ, making our power skyrocket, surprising Naturon in the process. Getting into a fighting position, I was about to charge at him, but Kakarot beat me to it, making me angry. Goku dash, I'm fighting him first. Vegeta dash, damn it Kakarot. Reverting back to base to conserve energy, I watch as Kakarot fights against Naturon, and while watching the fight play out, I get interested in the weird way he attacks, but while the power he's releasing is powerful, it is still well within our capabilities. As the battle continues, Naturon manages to force Kakarot to show more and more power until he eventually transforms into an SSJ2, then the battle starts back up again. This time Kakarot has the advantage and it's only a matter of time until Naturon's defeat. After several minutes Kakarot has managed to defeat him, and when he's about to launch his ki wave to deliver the finishing blow, black smoke suddenly erupts right out of Naturon's body, covering him in it. When Kakarot's attack was about to hit him, the black smoke receded and now his appearance changed by adding horns on the top of his head along with a dewlap on his neck. Opening his mouth, Naturon ate Kakarot's attack like nothing and patted his stomach afterward. Naturon dash, that tasted good, now I'll kill you for hurting me. When Naturon lunged at Kakarot, his speed was several times faster than before and his attacks were far stronger as well. Once the fight started for the second time, Kakarot was on the defensive, not being able to retaliate. While watching the battle, I started taking this Naturon guy somewhat seriously when he managed to force Kakarot to transform into an SSJ3, but even when he did transform he was still on the defensive. This continued for a few minutes till Kakarot's body finally couldn't handle it and he directly reverted back to his base form right before he crashed next to me. Goku dash, it's your turn, Vegeta, he's strong. Vegeta dash, I know. Leaving Kakarot on the ground, I transform into SSJ2 and intercept Naturon, who was charging at us. When I'm in front of him he swings his claw at me, and when I try to block it I get flung into the ground, while Naturon continues his charge after Kakarot. Irritated at not even being considered a threat, I use Ikari, which caused my body to slightly grow and get bigger. Flying out of the ground, I charge up a final flash and launch it right at the back of Naturon, who was about to attack Kakarot. By the time Naturon sensed the attack and turned around, it was too late. When the attack hit him, he was sent flying but stopped when he hit the dome Nala created. When I stopped attacking, the previous uninjured Naturon now had burn marks all over his stomach. Vegeta dash, that's what you get for not taking me seriously. Naturon dash, how dare you harm me, I'll kill you as well. Once he found out who suddenly attacked him, he yelled at me and started charging his way toward me. When he arrived close to me he tried biting me, but I flashed beside his head and kicked him in the face. Blocking the tail he attacked me with, he attacks me with his claw from the side and I barely dodged it in time. Shooting ki blasts to distract him, I rammed straight into his stomach, causing him to cough up spit. Backing away, I was about to do the same attack, but before I could, his hands clasped my body in place, preventing me from moving, and he started squeezing tightly, crushing my body slowly. Knowing that I'll most likely get crushed if I don't escape, I form a ki blade on each of my hands and slice the inside of his hands, which are trying to crush me. When I did, he opened his hands from the pain, which allowed me the chance to escape. Backing away from him, I deactivate my ki blades and get back into a fighting stance. Vegeta, he currently has more raw power than me, but I'm faster than him, so as long as I don't get caught again I'll be fine. Once he recovered he looked at me angrily as he yelled before charging right back at me again. Smirking, I did the same and flew towards him, and when his big body and my small body collided, another round of battle started. As the battle continues we both wind up with injuries on our bodies, but while my body is in worse shape than Naturon's, he's already exhausted and we've only been fighting for about 10 minutes. About an hour later the battle has come to an end. Naturon is currently laying on the ground completely exhausted with injuries all over his body, but I'm not in any better shape. While I'm not nearly as exhausted as Naturon, I'm currently heavily injured and it won't take much for me to go down, but with Naturon being completely defenseless right now I push through the pain and start charging up a Gallic gun strong enough to kill him. Once my attack is fully charged up I flash right above Naturon and launch my attack at him, catching him off guard. Vegeta dash, Gallic Gawoon. Right before my attack reached him, Naturon managed to block the attack, but even still I continue attacking. Using everything I got left in my body I release it, but it was still not enough to take Naturon down once and for all. Vegeta, damn it, I have to take him out now or he'll kill us. I continue pushing out all the ki I have in my body till there was nothing left for me to use. Right when I was about to collapse from severe ki exhaustion, Kakarot appeared right behind, and while he wasn't fully healed he was in far better than shape than he was an hour ago. Goku dash, seems like you could use some help. Before I could even deny his claim, I felt his hand grab onto my shirt as he suddenly started transferring his ki to me and only stopped when I was about half full. Goku dash, here, that's everything I got. Not bothering to reply to him, I channel all the ki I was just given into my attack, finally overwhelming Naturon and killing him. The moment I stop the attack, I immediately revert back to my base form and I'm hit with severe weakness that almost makes me fall to the ground, but my pride doesn't allow me to. Landing on the ground next to Kakarot, we suddenly hear noise coming from where I killed Naturon, and coming out of the rubble is a tiny mole that's slowly turning into black smoke. Naturon dash, ha, you've managed to beat me, but don't think you've won, you still have 6 more of us to fight, and I'm the weakest one by far. You have exactly 24 hours, before the 6th star dragon awakens. My big sister Oceanus will be more than enough to defeat you guys. Once he finally finished talking, his body completely turned into smoke, just leaving the 7-star black star dragon ball. Hearing noise come from behind us, Kakarot and I turn around, spotting Nala slithering towards us. Nala dash, if what he said was true, this is quite bad. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon at https://www.patreon.com/Kaioshin. I tend to polls that decide important plot stuff in my Patreon. Many thanks to my awesome patrons: Nicholas Berenger, Ben Phillips, Yamatancho, Taco TSK, Yuki. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be here until next time.